What's up, everybody? You're listening to another episode of the SignatureCAST, where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. Back in the Signature Fitness studio, we have Mayor Melham of Belleville, New Jersey. We are extremely excited to have you back. Won your re-election not that long ago, so now we have 3 more years to go, correct?
Correct, 3 more years.
3 more years to go to make Belleville even better than it already is. We're also joined by CEO of Signature Fitness, Warren Feldman. Warren, thank you for coming on today. We're going to get off right from the start. Have you been working out?
I have been.
I've seen you.
Not just running. I know you always complain when you see me here, and I'm just running. I'm just that cardio guy. But no, I have actually been back to the weights. So
Great.
At least 2 days a week of weights and 2 days a week of cardio.
Fantastic. You know, that's for everybody out there. You know, cardio is great. You got to do the resistance training, especially once you get older on our age. It's good for the bones, good for the muscles, everything like that. Speaking of working out, I'm actually heading to World's Strongest Man in Myrtle Beach. Not me. I'm not competing. I wish. But tomorrow, super excited to see guys push themselves to the absolute limit. So, guys, if you're watching this, check that out. It's going to be amazing. But back to Signature Fitness and back to Belleville. We had an amazing Cherry Blossom Festival just passed, right?
We did.
How did that go?
It went really well. You know, the weather was perfect. Usually, sometimes it's a little cold in the weeks leading up, and the cherry blossoms get a little spooked. We have about 16 or 17 different varieties of cherry blossoms. So just because they're all not blooming at the same time, people think that they're not working or they're asleep or they're dormant. Really, that's not the case. That's just because we have so many different varieties here. We have early bloomers, we have late bloomers, we have even some double bloomers. So the weather was perfect. I had run in the Essex County 10K race. Warren, you ran that last year, I believe, right?
Yes, I did.
Ran in that, and the weather was actually perfect. A year ago, it was actually rainy, if you remember that. It's been cold, it's been windy, but the weather was perfect. The Cherry Blossom Festival that the Essex County put on was excellent. It was 2 straight weeks, fantastic. And we still, in Belleville, currently still have some very good cherry blossoms out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Actually, we must have some of those late bloomer ones along the back of the gym. Because I was like, I thought that was over with already. Because some of them have already lost all of their petals. And other ones are in absolute beautiful blooming. But yeah, it's great to hear. And it's very interesting. A friend of mine, one of the owners of the arm wrestling team that's here, his wife is from Japan. Yeah. And they were planning this big trip, and I said, wait, they're going out to take photos with the trip, and they're planning on going somewhere. I said, you know the Cherry Blossom capital is here, Belleville, New Jersey.
Of the whole world.
Of the whole world. And it was really exciting. But no, it's great to hear, and I know the community definitely enjoys it. But speaking of the community, anything new happening in Belleville? Any plans? Anything we got going on?
There's always plans.
There's always plans.
I always have a trick or two up my sleeve. There's definitely a lot of plants happening. The nice part, just like the cherry blossoms are blooming, and there's been an investment in those cherry blossoms for decades, really. Even 20 years ago when I was on the council, we planted another 2,000 cherry blossoms. It's nice to see something that local elected officials get to see this all the time, where you could actually physically plant a seed, you could water it, you could nurture it, you can cultivate it, and then you actually get to see it bloom. And that's what's happening in Belleville. So now, as I start my 5th year, this coming May, will be my 5th year with 3 years left on the second term. We're actually getting to see some things bloom now. So whereas when I first came in 2018, we created some plans maybe for a new recreational facility or a new field turf facility or a brand new 8-lane competitive track where that, you get to see it on paper, and then you get the votes to maybe fund it or to bond for that money, and then you go out to bid for it, and it just seems like a very long process. And then we break ground, and we have a nice shovel and the hard hats on it, and that's a nice photo op. But now, just this past weekend, we actually cut the ribbon on an 8-lane competitive track, something that Belleville has not had in decades. When I was in high school, we ran on a gray gravel, unlaned track, basically. We could practice on it, but we couldn't have any county meets on it. This is probably the only 8-lane competitive track. And the reason why 8-lane is interesting because most are 6 lanes, and you could have a county meet or a regional meet there. But an 8-lane competitive track, very rare in New Jersey. We're probably one of the only municipalities in northern New Jersey that actually have an 8-lane track. We can now host state track meets.
Oh, wow.
So now that coupled with the overall upgrade to the entire complex, we're really putting Belleville on the map with that one.
No, that's fantastic. I remember doing track and field back when I was in high school, and there was only a couple of schools that we could go to, and it was always exciting. It was like a big trip of ours. So that's great for the community, especially for the kids too, seeing this brand new, beautiful facility. Speaking of new and beautiful facilities, I have to make a little plug-in. Warren, we have our brand new state-of-the-art music system going in as we speak. We're going to blow the roof off of this place. Am I right or am I right?
Concert quality. We feel really great about having made that investment to give people the kind of playlist that they want. We're getting now, early in the morning, we have, I think by about 8 o'clock, we have about 450 people in the gym. Between 5 and 6, we're seeing about 150 people coming in at that point. Thankfully, there's a lot of Belleville residents coming, but they're coming from all over the area, Jersey City, Bayonne. We have people coming from the Bronx. We have one of the former chief detectives, a captain from the Bronx. He comes to this gym because he says it's the best gym, well located, learn to love Signature, enjoys coming to Belleville. And part of what we're doing here is we're trying to help people confront the challenges of life and at the same time see the opportunities. And I think that's what Michael Melham, as the mayor, is really addressed in this town, that this town has, like everybody, has problems. Everybody makes a mistake. You take your mistake and you use it as a badge to grow from, a badge of honor as at this gym or elsewhere. You make a mistake, you grow from that. And I think what he's done is taken the challenges that have come to this town in respect to the youth, recreation, government, and he's taken any problem this town has confronted, he's turned it into an opportunity. It's now a super town with a terrific reputation, and I thank you for that. And it's had a great effect on our business, so thank you.
Thank you, Warren.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've seen it even myself, having worked here now for almost 5 years. Just every time I drive down, Washington Avenue, there's some new business or there's a new apartment complex or a new supermarket. We got Lytle in not that long ago, and it's like life is being brought back to a town that I don't want to say was dormant, but maybe it was just taking a back seat for a little while.
Right.
And I have to give, I don't know who did it, but right across from Town Hall, there's the Agave, whatever the name of that restaurant is.
Agave
what
bread.
a mural. Wow. I mean, I'm jealous you get to walk out and see that every day. We got to connect with that artist because it's absolutely beautiful. But it also just shows, about how proud we are of the heritage of the people in our community. But guys, if you haven't checked that out, go to the Town Hall. It is absolutely gorgeous,
The place is also great, by the way. Great food, great drinks. It's a 2-story Mexican restaurant. And this coming spring, it'll be our first rooftop bar. So it'll be a rooftop tequila bar.
I did notice that there was something. I just went to drop off some plans, and I said they're doing something up there. Oh, we gotta make a little signature fitness party there one day for sure. So you said you're back to working out. You're doing twice a day. I'm sorry, 4 times a week. You got 2 days you're doing a little bit of weights. You're doing 2 days a little bit of cardio. What have you been working on? We're coming out of the winter months. We're getting into the spring. It's gonna be summer soon, right? What are some of the goals you have for this warm weather, either for yourself or for the community?
We have a little bit of everything. I mean, the community, we're always a very active community. This is a very young community, especially with some of the new developments that you've been mentioning. We make sure that we keep our community healthy. We are recently voted a Sustainable New Jersey community, and we are also just won a Mayor's Fit Challenge. So we're also considered a healthy community to watch, and that's great. I know Warren has always been very supportive of that. We do our walks to our walk to works. I know we do a walk down here once a year or so. So we always make sure we keep the community fit. Now with some of the new recreational facilities, like I mentioned, I used to go to Nutley to run on the track when I was running outdoor. Now I stopped going to Nutley because Belleville's finally got her own track. So things like that are great for the community. Me personally, I'm always in a state of evolution. I'm always changing. So as summer comes, I try and trim up a little bit. I love cardio. You know what? I can't say I love cardio, but cardio is easier for me to do.
Sure.
As we've talked before, I absolutely hate weight training. Hate it. So I can guilt myself that if I come in, at least if I run for 30 or 40 minutes, I've done something.
Sure.
So that's a means to an end for me to run. I just got done, as we talked earlier, about competing in the 10K. I broke my record. So every single year, I actually get faster and faster and faster. My goal is always to finish in under 60 minutes. So a 10K is about 6.2 miles. Finish under 60 minutes. This year, I think I was 55 and change or 56 and change.
Fantastic.
So I was very, very happy with that turnout. But as we get closer to summer now, it's all about, for me personally, it's trimming up. So most people think that you could just trim up alone with cardio. But as I'm sure Will would probably testify to the fact, especially when you get older in age, you could trim up, but then you're going to look a little saggy, you're going to look a little droopy. You have to buff the body a little bit.
Don't just talk to me. The guy to your right, he's been taking advantage of our strength and conditioning center a few times a week. I have Warren. Look, this is the best thing. Warren probably, I don't know, a couple months ago was like, well, show me how to bench press. And I was like, all right. He took it upon himself. Every week or two, I see more and more weight on the bar. So kudos to you, Warren. You know, he's been really pushing it.
I find it calming. I mean, I like to combine it with cardio as well. But I find the weight training and the personalities involved in that the hard, exertion followed by a moment of rest, and I like it. I like all the activities that we have here. One thing that I wanted to say about Belleville and Mayor Melham and what we're doing in town is that this town has an excellent connection into the neighboring towns. I know that the mayor has a great rapport with North Arlington's mayor, Newark's mayor. I like the fact that you keep a statewide presence. That you are outspoken and that you are looking to improve and make things better and enable your residents and residents on a broader level to have the kind of experiences that they want, to give them a healthy lifestyle so that they could do the things that they love to do, which are two, I think, essential affirmations for all of us. Live a healthy lifestyle and do what you love to do, and don't worry what you didn't do and what the past might have held for you. And I like that you have that broader connection. You mentioned earlier your involvement already with gubernatorial matters and so forth.
Yeah, and Warren, you actually bring up a great quote that I actually had on the board for yesterday's meeting. It's from Roy T. Bennett. If you want to be happy, do not dwell on the past. Do not worry about the future. Focus on living fully in the present. I think that wraps up exactly what you just said right there. If we could all do that, we'll definitely be better off. But something we have actually coming up, Mayor Melham, which you might not have been notified about, but I expect to see you there. April 29th, we have our Fit for Autism event, 4 years in a row. Mayor Melham's taken a couple rides on the fire truck as I pulled it by myself. So if you want to see a spectacle, definitely come down. It's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. All proceeds go to autism awareness. We're going to have CrossFit, spin classes, Zumba, every single thing you could think of, bench press, deadlift, pull-ups. There's going to be vendors, food, popcorn, bouncy house for the kids, all that wrapped around a DJ. It's going to be fantastic. So can I get you? Are you going to be there?
I will be there.
There we go.
I have not missed a year yet. And even though you have to pull the fire truck every year, I add about 180 pounds to it every time by sitting on the bumper and live streaming it, I think.
Oh, yeah. We definitely got to get a good live stream of that this year. I think we're going to have Warren pull it this year.
I like it.
Maybe I have to push the gas a little bit. But
day and date and time again, Will?
April 29th. It's a Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's with Victor Martinez. He is one of our resident IFBB pros. He's really a legend of the sport, and he personally has been affected by autism. A couple of his kids are autistic, so it's something that really he holds close to his heart. So we love to support it every single year, and the mayor will be there. Warren will be there. Of course, I'll be there. So, guys, you definitely got to come down and check it out. But before we wrap things up, to both of you, if you could just give a couple wise words of wisdom to our audience back home, just how to organize yourself every day. Because me, looking at both of you, I definitely aspire to have a little bit of the organizational skills and maybe clean myself up a little bit better, just as you guys have. So for the people at home, what's one way that you keep yourself on track every single day?
I'm done. I'm deferring to the man on my left. I said my piece already. Go ahead.
You know what? I think you got to find what works for you. I mean, just like with working out, we were talking about working out before. And you got to find what works for you. So for me, with regard to working out, just to go back to that for a second, is what motivates you? So I know what motivates me. I love to travel. So here's what I do. I just book a trip every 6-8 weeks. And I know I want to make sure that I look good when I'm on my trip. So sun's out, guns out, right? Yeah. So next Wednesday I'll be in Miami, and then from Miami I'll be on an island. So guess what? That's why you've been seeing me in the gym doing a little bit of weight. So
I love it.
Find what really works for you. But with regard to organization, I have a lot going on in my life because not only am I mayor, but I run my own successful business. We have about 8 employees. I have 4 in-house, 4 working remotely. I have my own real estate ventures. I have my own hobbies. I actually have my own private life, which most people don't realize that. So for me, compartmentalizing really works. So I mean, if you're an early person, you get up early. Some people journal. I don't journal, but I'm really overly organized. I don't go to bed at night before I look at my phone to know what I got to do in the morning. A lot of times I get into work early. I'm in work by about 7:30 in my private office, and I compartmentalize by saying that I'm going to look at my town email right now, and I'm only going to do it for about a half hour. If I sat in front of my email, my screen has 5 different email accounts that I could come into. So I could have personal, I could have real estate, I could have my business, and I could have my mayor's. So if I sat there all day and just watched that email, would drive myself crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So compartmentalizing and saying, I'm going to do this here, and you got to find your own schedule. So people work out in the morning and they work out at night. You see me here during lunchtime because that's what works for me.
Sure.
Finding what works for you. You can't just read a book and say, well, this is what Will does. I heard Will does this on the podcast, so I'm going to wake up early, eat 2 hard-boiled eggs, and go work out in the gym. You got to find what works for you, and then it's all about consistency. So that's the best way, I think.
I love it. Find the routine that works for you. And even though Warren doesn't want to say it, he gave me a great tip a couple of years ago, is always keep a pad and paper with you to write something down because you're going to forget. So guys, that's another episode of the Signature Cast where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. Melham, Warren Feldman, thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you guys again soon.
Thank you.